I'm Vincent Reinhardt, Chief U.S. Economist here at Morgan Stanley, and I'm joined by my colleague Ellen Zentner. And it has been a busy Fed week. There's been speeches and interviews by multiple bank presidents. There was a commencement address by Janet Yellen in Yankee Stadium, no less. She gave the requisite shout-out to Ruth, Gehrig, and DiMaggio. And there's been Senate confirmation of Stanley Fischer as vice chair, a vote 68 to 27. He got 10 more yes votes than Janet Yellen. And then lastly, the publication of the minutes. We read the minutes so you wouldn't have to. It's always important to set up your expectations going into the release. And we were hoping to learn three things. How much of the poor Q1 economic performance did they ascribe to the weather? Do they see pressures on inflation? And how specific was their discussion of a revised exit strategy? So what did we learn, Ellen?
Well, we learned that they believe that the weather contributed to a sharp slowing in activity in the first quarter. They know that we're already in a significant rebound. We have Q2 GDP tracking at 4%. And they also, for the large part, most participants didn't revise their outlook. So they believe that the economy has returned to that previous trajectory of moderate growth. Also, for inflation pressures, they gave a nod to medical services, which has been a transitory factor that's been holding back inflation. They still believe that inflation is set to move higher at gradually returning to the 2% target over the next several years. For the exit strategy, basically they felt that it would be prudent to start talking about the exit strategy in more detail now, but that's what we got, a lot of discussion. And they didn't want markets to think that this discussion of the exit strategy meant that they were ready to normalize policy anytime soon. So what happens next, Vincent?
They talk and talk about their exit. They have to do more tests of the reverse RP facility, more tests of the term deposit facility, and they have to hash out amongst themselves the sequencing issue. When do they first start stopping their reinvesting of maturing proceeds relative to the date of first tightening? They're also going to talk and talk about financial stability. There was a request to continue the discussion about asset pricing generally and whether there were pockets of froth in financial markets. And they're going to talk and talk about their talk. In the minutes, it said that a number of participants emphasized the importance of communicating still more clearly, if they were speaking clearly already, about the committee's policy intentions as the time of the first increase in the federal funds rate moves closer. This is a group of people who believe the solution to a communications failure is to try to communicate more. One thing they won't talk about is much rate guidance or the economic outlook. Why? They're in a good place. This is our rate strategist product, the months to the first rate hike. And for a while, it's been consistent with market participants not expecting the first rate hike until October 2015. That's even further in the future than the Fed's own rate guidance. The Fed is not going to push against an open door. They've got nothing to protest about, so they're basically going to keep a pretty low profile in the months ahead. Not until the data pick up and they have something to push against. Thank you.